3 ways to cash flow any subject to property. Guys, this is Rick Ginn, and in today's video, I'm going to teach you the 3 strategic points that you can gain huge cash flow on any subject to deal. We're going to talk about the beginning, the middle, and the end, and your options are absolutely unlimited. I'm going to walk you through all 3 phases. But before I get into it, do me a favor. Make sure you smash that like button, you hit that subscribe button to continue to receive the best up-to-date information on wholesaling today. So once again, we're talking about subject twos, one of my favorite ways to do creative financing deals. And people are always asking me, well, Rick, how do you actually profit from a subject to? And I'm going to take this video and walk you through it. So the really neat thing is there's basically 3 steps you can do it. Now, there's not any set one way to do this, but there's 3 areas you can capture it. And I'm going to explain your options when I go through it. And some of you might be doing this strategy or that strategy, and I'll show you how it works out. The first thing is when you buy a subject to. So this is when you actually buy it from the motivated seller and they gave you the existing financing in place, also known as the subject to, and you're taking over the payments. What you normally have to do is usually there is some sort of negotiations with the seller in order to take over this deal and put your name on the deed. Your LLC's name is what I really recommend, not your personal name, but normally you have to induce them with some sort of financial benefit. Now, for full disclosure, I've done subject twos with no money to the seller. Sometimes there's just no money to make it work. Sometimes it's a good enough deal that you want to incentivize them, take money so they'll do the deal. And sometimes sellers want crazy amounts of monies for it, but that's up to you when you do it. So when you first start out, we talk about the cash to seller. This is all negotiable. It can be 0, it can be 50,000, it can be whatever you want it to be. But keep in mind, most people get in the subject to, so they don't have to get bank approved loans. So sometimes even if you lay out the money, it's okay. Because here's the secret, guys. The money you're going to give to the seller, it's not your money. It's going to be your end buyer's money if you do this right. So stop freaking out if you don't have money on this. I'm going to show you exactly how this works, because when you enter into your subject to agreement, part of your conditions is you have 30 days to come up with this downstroke to the seller. Why? Because that gives you 30 days to go find an end buyer to pay that money. Also, sometimes there's some light rehab on the property, and you got to figure out what that number is. Painting, appliances. I like to do subject to where there's little to no rehab on residential single-family homes, just because it makes it so much easier. Remember, if it's a huge rehab, say $40,000 or $50,000, somebody has to come up with that cash to make it happen, and it's going to make the deal much harder to do a simple subject to, because then you're going to have to get some financial partners in place. And most of you are looking for nice, pretty homes and nice, pretty neighborhoods, and basically looking for a mortgage you can take over where you can get more in rents or monthly payments. A lot of times, if you give the seller, say $3,500, it's an example. I said it can be 0 to 50,000. It's all negotiable. The more motivated the seller is, the less they'll usually take there. Remember, you need their cooperation. So my advice is to try to get them something. Okay. And then maybe you got like another $2,500 in rehab. Maybe that winds up being paint and like a new stove. So basically, you're all in on the property $6,000. She's like, Rick, I don't have $6,000. It's okay. It's not your money. You are paid to orchestrate these deals. You are the conductor of the subject to. So your job is to put all the parties together and identify the people that want to participate in this transaction. The idea is if you can find nice, pretty homes that don't need a ton of rehab, and the subject to seller will take a reasonable amount of money down, you're in great shape. What's a reasonable amount? It's proportionate to the property. What I want to try to do is 3 to 5%. That's a good starting rule, because that should give you plenty of cash flow up front. So now when we buy it, this is going to be our first way to make money. But like, Rick, how the heck am I going to make money? So if $6,000, my simple rule is to double that amount and ask for a down payment. That's the bare minimum. Okay. So if it's $6,000, if you multiply that by 2, the minimum I want to take on this project is $12,000 from my new seller. That gives me an upfront fee of a minimum $6,000. And guys, the key word is minimum. So if you remember the formula, whatever you lay out for the property, you should double that and expect that from your new end buyer. Remember, You're going to be selling these properties to people that put down low payments. And yes, 3 to 5% is a very low down payment for people. And because they're getting a property with no bank qualifying, so it's really easy and they don't have to go through the terrible underwriting if they have a bad credit score, and it's a perfect fit. So if I get $6,000 up front, that's number one. So keep that in mind. So let's go to phase two. So now I got $6,000 up front, and remember, you didn't lay a dime out of your pocket because I'm collecting $12,000 from my new buyer that's going to buy it on basically a rent-to-own basis from me. And then they don't have to qualify for a traditional bank loan. And then they give you $12,000, you give the seller $6,000, you keep $6,000. So what I love about a good subject to deal in a single family home is you get positive cash flow up front. And honestly, that's the best way to do it in our current market. That way you're not at risk. If you have a bigger property, you want to take on a financial partner to help fund it, then you can do that. But for most of you people, you need to make sure you stay in a positive cash flow situation because you will not get in trouble if you're always in a positive cash flow situation. Let's go to the next phase, which is now we own the property and we have to figure out what the monthly cash flows are going to be. So what you're going to do is take your mortgage payment, whatever payments you're making on the house, okay? And then you're going to set your rental amount, whatever your agreement is with your new end buyer, and then we're going to figure out what the cash flow is on it. Now, if the number's positive, it's good. If it's negative, it's bad, okay? And you really want a spread on it. So say you're paying $1,000 a month on the payments, and then say you're renting it out for $1,800 a month after that payment. I know you guys are thinking, Rick, why would they rent it out for $1,800 for me and give me $12,000? Because it's like owning the home to them and they can't qualify for bank loans. And honestly, it gives them exactly what they want. I'm looking for people with steady jobs and high income earners to do these deals because I want to make sure I always get paid, and I'll deal with their soft credit. Okay. So that leaves us with a positive $800 a month. Now, if you do a subject to right, the end user pays the taxes. The debate if they're escrowed or not in the mortgage payment depends on which one. But for simplification, I make the end buyer pay the property taxes. And if they don't, there's a penalty for them, just like you would on a mortgage. And then the insurance usually pay for it and cover it within these costs, or you can add it onto the mortgage, however you decide to do it. But $800 a month, and let's say I did a 5-year deal with this person. So $800, and that's 60 months. Look at this number, $48,000 in cash flow over 60 months. Do you see why these things are so attractive? Now, I get it. You could have wholesaled the property and probably made 20 to 30 grand up front, maybe. But remember, it's a subject to, so you're a little bit limited in how you can do that. And this property, we couldn't wholesale anyways because there wasn't enough equity in it. So now we've basically made 6 grand plus 48 grand. Let's go to phase 3. And that's your exit strategy. And on your exit strategy, the really cool thing is you have a preset price, pre-sale price. Let's just call it $200,000 on this. That's to your end buyer. That's what you've promised the seller originally on the subject to. Then you have option rent to own that you have your new end buyer and you're selling it to them for $249,900. If you look at this after the 60 months, you're like, oh, Rick, you made $49,900. That's how it looks on the surface. So let's assume we took off 10 grand in just closing fees. Maybe there's a realtor involved, something like that. And that winds up being $39,900. This is the really exciting part, okay? And this is what a lot of people don't talk about. There is an arbitrage here. And an arbitrage is when you can make money off the bank's money. Think about the 60 months. What did you do? You made on-time mortgage payments. So what happens over those 60 months? You're right. More money started going to the principal than interest. It gradually, so if you ever look at an amortization schedule, in the beginning, you pay most of your money to the interest. And as it goes along in time, more money goes to principal. So over that 60 months, we've added about actually it was around $200 a month in equity payments. So 200 times 60 is $12K. So now I'm adding $12K to this number after I've netted off all my expenses on it, $51,000 at the end. So let's sum this up. In the beginning, step 1 on the buy, I put $6,000. And guys, positive cash flow up front is a huge win. It keeps you out of trouble in subject twos. Number 2, the monthly cash flow, we figured at $48,000 over 60 months. And then 3, on the sale price, we basically pocketed 40 grand on the sale proceeds. And then we added, with mortgage reduction, another $12,000. So this was 52,000. So here we go, guys. 52,000 plus 48,000 plus 6,000, $106,000. Guys, this is why we do creative financing deals. This is why we do subject twos. Think about this. If you were just going to take this property and just flip it, wholesale it, you probably couldn't because there's no equity in it. By using the strategy, you've basically pocketed $106,000. Guys, if this doesn't excite you in creative financing, I don't know what else I can do with it. It doesn't mean you stop wholesaling. It just means when the opportunities come up and there's little to no equity and you've exhausted wholesaling, put on your creative financing hat. Now you know how to do a subject two. Now, for full disclosure, this is a strategy where you buy the property and then you put in an end user and you let them take ownership of the property, meaning they make a monthly payment, they have the rights to the house as long as they follow your agreement, and then basically they refinance the house and close it on you and cash you out completely. That is one strategy that works well. Why I like that one is because there's no management involved. You're not cleaning toilets, you're not doing repairs, unless it's like a major roof thing or a foundation, you are not involved. So you don't have to be a landlord and you go out and find more deals like this. Your other option is you can simply just turn it into a rental or an Airbnb. The downside on that is you're not going to generate as much cash up front. You're probably going to be in a negative cash flow, and then you have to have management hands-on, and that winds up being exhausting. So what I recommend to you is you find out which technique works best for you and stick to it. I don't like doing the management. I don't like being a landlord. So I like buying the property and getting an end user in there. But if you want to go the Airbnb route or the rental route, it's going to be more work up front. You're not going to make as much money up front, but you do get a huge payoff at the end, because after the appreciation and all the fix-ups you've done to the house, it should be worth a fortune. The key is creative financing opens so many doors for you that otherwise without it, you would only be stuck as a wholesaler. And I want you to understand you're limitless in your options in this. And I want you to understand creative financing. You pick the strategy that's best for you. I don't like being a landlord. Like I've tried it. I've owned 30 plus homes. It's a nightmare. I prefer to do apartments and bigger asset classes because it's just easier management. When I started out, I took a lot of these homes subject to, and I liked doing this technique because I didn't have to deal with the tenant on a monthly basis on all the other stuff. But do what suits your personality. Go ahead, guys. Subject twos, guys. These are so powerful. There's 3 ways you can profit from in the beginning, in the middle, and the end. And you should capitalize on each category depending on what type of subject two you want to do. So you guys, let me know in the comments. Are you willing to take down subject two deals to take down like this? And here's the really cool part is you can do as many as you can humanly find. You are not limited by the market. See, banks limit how much financing you can do. So by going out and do creative financing strategies like this, you are unlimited in your potential to earn in the real estate space. Guys, you're amazing wholesalers. I'm just adding tools to your chest to expand the opportunities in real estate for you. So guys, do me a favor, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button to continue to receive the best information up to date on wholesaling and everything real estate investing. This is Rick Ginn, and I will see you soon. Thanks.